Are we live, pal? We are live, pal. Well, hopefully. Finally.
Can you hear us now?
Hear all of us?
Yes.
Word. Can you hear me now?
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
We're back. Everything works. Welcome to another edition, the redo edition of Spot Monkey Radio. So we're just going to pretend Sunday didn't happen.
What? What are you talking about?
No,
exactly.
it did happen.
What are you talking about?
Oh, no, it happened.
What do you flash you think?
Yeah.
What? What is
Yeah,
that?
nah. You gotta take.
Is there a pay-per-view that I didn't know about?
Brandon, we like to call this episode Rewind the Spot, like they do in wrestling.
No, guys.
It was not.
Guys, I told you. Hold on, and...
No, I can hear it.
All right, we're live again.
I heard it the entire time. We're good.
I just flashy thinged us, so nobody remembers Sunday.
So, how's everybody doing?
So,
where we started off
let's
last
just
time.
get right.
Yeah.
New
Let's just
Japan,
go right
I
into it.
believe, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
mean,
Yes.
who saw the epic thing that happened this weekend? Because none of us predicted it. We were totally wrong on what was going to happen on New Japan Cup.
Oh, watch out, Greco saw it. He had a premonition, apparently.
No. I'm not going to say I saw it coming, but I did say to Malik, I wouldn't be totally shocked if what happened. And that by happening is Evil is the new IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion.
It's all about media hype right now. So the only best way to get media hype right now is shocking everyone and doing what they don't expect.
Yeah, by picking a guy who was not, like, obviously they have faith in him. They sent him around to America for an excursion. They put him in one of the biggest stables in the company. I just didn't think it would be this quick for the guy. And to put him in Bullet Club now, too. He's now essentially the de facto leader of Bullet Club with Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
Return unknown at this moment. Talk about strapping the rocket ship to the guy. Is this guy ready for this sort of spotlight?
I mean,
it's a lot. Go ahead, Malik.
Only one way to find out.
I mean, I after seeing his brand new look and the fact that he went in Awesome Kong's closet and shrinked it down,
those shoulder pauldrons, though. Those shoulder pauldrons.
Like the brand new music, I'm trying to get used to everything. I'm like, maybe he needs to upgrade his look on his hair and switch that around. Coming from a guy who doesn't really have much hair. I don't know if he's ready per se, but I'm pretty sure that he's pretty much public enemy number one. So let's just give him a shot and see what happens.
What do you got to lose at this point?
Well, it's interesting because I honestly thought from the beginning, my pick is for we all had the feeling Okada was going to be in the final. That left side of the bracket was pretty much sewed up. It was going to be Okada at the end of the day. I honestly, from the beginning, thought it was going to be Ibushi, and then when Taichi beat Tanahashi and Ibushi, I thought he was getting the rocket. So I maybe they see something we don't. Maybe they feel coming out of quarantine, this is just the smart thing to do is reset as much as they can and go from there.
I mean,
it's definitely a reset. We saw they definitely didn't the reset button because not only did they take the tag team, not only did they move the world title, they took the tag team titles off of Ibushi and then Tanahashi and giving it to my favorite anime character of all time, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr.
And now there are some titles that are pretty much going to be held up in the air. The junior heavyweight tag team titles are pretty much going to be up in the air because Yo is injured. The show continues to reach on to go for the Never Open Championship and the six-man tag Never Open Championship, which technically, if you look at it, this man has 3 titles, but I guess that no longer ceased to count because, hell, none of the guys are even carrying those belts around. It was Evil, Bushi, and Shingo Takagi. So it's just becoming real interesting what they're going to do with those belts. I don't know if they're going to do tournament. Who knows? I mean, New Japan is just built mostly on tournaments as it is.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
Their seasonal format is very, very tournament heavy. But it's back, though. It's back. We had a 50% crowd. at Osaka Joe Hall.
Which still looks great. I mean, 50%. I mean, you spread it out nicely, and it, obviously you can see the gaps, but you know why. But it looks good, and
It doesn't look terrible.
And
Yeah.
To their credit, every time they showed the crowd, every person had a mask on in that booth.
Yeah.
I want me a Bullet Club mask, like my Yankee mask, but Bullet Club.
Which they are selling those.
Let's go, New Japan shop.
But I mean, overall, there's a lot more questions than answers right now. Where does Naito go from here?
Watching the show today because I really didn't do it on Sunday. I was just still stuck in the hole, watching the last two matches and seeing where they went. Obviously, the new number one contender for the double gold is Hiromu Takahashi, who is also the junior heavyweight champion in New Japan, and that match will be taking place on the 25th.
Also,
they also have a show.
He is the junior champion or what?
Yeah, he is the junior champion.
Is it for that belt as well?
No.
Or is it just
Evil is not. Evil's like 250.
Imagine though.
They're very strict on the rules with that. Takahashi also gave us the most memeable moment of the week with his reaction to the heel turn too, by the way, which was the memes on that, priceless.
Awesome.
I mean, he stated the reason why he joined the group. He joined the group because he wanted to be alongside Evil and Naito, and now this has happened, and he feels that it'll be that much sweeter taking the titles off Evil, which makes me question how long are they really going to run defending both titles at the same time.
Exactly. And I know Ospreay last year, I believe, challenged Okada when Okada was the champion. How many other times has the junior champion challenged the heavyweight champion?
Usually when they do these matches, it's normally junior. It's never. It's not. It's. I mean, I'm sure it happened, but most of the time, from what I understand, it's just junior heavyweight champion up against heavyweight champion. Really, the title's not always on the line. Because last year when they did it, it was Jay White and Ospreay.
I believe a certain demonic somebody during his time in New Japan was a challenger for the IWGP heavyweight title while still the reigning junior heavyweight champion. I think that was early Bullet Club.
The holding multiple title things is becoming a standard these days, and
it is. Great segue, Manny, because congratulations. Let's all bask in his glory. The simultaneous NXT World Heavyweight Champion and North American Champion Keith Lee. All-around stand-up guy, too, Keith Lee. So couldn't have.
He was pretty upset with the leak, though. I mean, obviously you're taking away a pretty special moment from him and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, they're trying to say the guy did it accidentally. I don't know how you accidentally tweet a photo like that, but
yeah, it's the internet.
Yeah, also, I didn't like the whole cover up of, well, we taped two endings. No, you didn't.
Yeah, no, that was dumb as fuck. They should have never said that in the first place. Like, we are much smarter than that.
Yeah.
Like, that whole situation was about as accidental as sending a dick pic to a chick that you like.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, really, that's what it was. Truth.
Yeah, you don't accidentally do that. Exactly.
Hell of a metaphor.
Did I send that?
But at the same time,
my finger slipped.
At the same time, it was. I wouldn't say it was shocking. Cole's been the champ for 403 days at that point. You know, it's a nice new change. I'm just interested to see what happens next.
Does he have to defend both titles at the same time? I mean, we've seen people with two titles before. We've seen people with two titles before. And we've seen them have to defend each title in one match, in two different matches in a night. We've seen it done before. Keith Lee's a big dude. You know what I mean? It's not like he couldn't do two matches in the night easily, and still dominate. So we might see that. If he loses it to anybody, it has to be a big dude. You know what I mean? It has to be another big dude because it won't be believable if you have someone small beating him for the lesser title. But if you had it where, I'll go two ways here. Either someone big or someone with backup. Because,
Manny, that's debatable because I mean, right now that seems like the new beef that he's going to have is going to be up against Karrion Kross. With that being said, if they were to turn around and put the North American Championship on somebody like, I don't know, somebody that I actually like on the roster, like Cameron Grimes, I would be all for it. Baby. I would be all for it. It's just me.
Yep.
But there would have to be
like it would have to be done in the right way because I mean you're coming off a pretty big first time ever somebody's held 2 belts in NXT kind of historic thing. You don't want to dumb it down so quickly.
Well, I actually think what you could do with all this is maybe for an event or two, have him defending both titles on the same night and it wearing him down and him just saying, I'll put both titles on the line at the same time. And that's how you could get both titles off of him if you wanted. You could have him lose.
I could see a triple threat or a 4-way match like that.
Kurt Angle style, where he doesn't get pinned and lose both belts.
Yeah, I could see that. That would be a cool way to go about it. I could see that. Because it doesn't take away from him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make him look weak. That's the one thing you don't want to have Keith Lee look. You don't want him to look weak.
Just at this point,
keep the strong man looking strong.
Now, I mean, one person, I'm just going to throw it out here. We've us very intimately have seen close and personal. What about Donovan Dijakovic? I mean, guys have great
he's definitely going to
chemistry.
get a shot. He's definitely going to get a title shot. I mean, they have amazing chemistry in the ring. Like, best matches for NXT for the two guys that are there.
Well, I thought one of the latest rumors was that Dijakovic was going to be moved over to Raw. I didn't even know that somebody as like remember she used to be with Aaliyah, Vanessa Bourne has been moved to Raw, and I was just like, really? When? Didn't announce that.
Apparently, she was moved in either January or February, and they were going to debut her, and then everything went crazy.
Yeah.
And then they didn't want to utilize her, and for what? They need more women on the main rosters. You can't just always have Bayley and Sasha. Granted, they're amazing. They're amazing, but they need more wrestlers. It's like you're starting to thin out your roster little by little. Gotta start filling it back up and bringing new content. It can't be the same shit week and
none of this diva shit anymore.
I'm gonna get us back on course a little, but I want to go back to that, and I'm gonna give you a good reason why when we get to the Raw and SmackDown stuff later. However, speaking of the women, to me, the women's match between Candice LeRae and Mia Yim was probably one of the best matches we saw between both weeks on both shows. They tore the house down. They got violent. They got violent. They did some pretty intense stuff, including the swinging neck breaker off the top rope onto chairs.
That was beautifully done.
It's a great match, and it's sad that that you can only go to NXT to really see a lot of great matches between women. Because a lot of these women are on Raw and SmackDown and could equally do great matches, and you're not seeing it there.
And you can literally be doing the same shit. It's the same spot, same arena, same everything. Who are your two biggest rivalries right now? Why not have them do something similar like that? No, we can't. You know why? Because if we do, Sasha Banks gets injured, and there she's off the shelf for another year. You know, because let's face it, Sasha Banks is great, but she is known to have these injuries that just keeps her out for a little bit to have her come back.
Person. She's fragile, no matter how much
she
you work out.
And she throws herself, like she sells these films as much as she can, but you're going to keep throwing your body like you're fucking Dolph Ziggler in the little frame that you are, you're going to break in half.
I like to see the NXT match. I mean, the NXT women. I mean, the Candice and Mia match, definitely top notch. Like, awesome. You know what I mean? It just worries me because when you see them get to the next level, all of a sudden you hardly see them.
And that momentum is gone.
NXT stars.
And it sucks because they want to bring them up during the momentum, but it's just every time they have this momentum, everybody's following them. And like you said, Manny, they just drop them off. We don't see them in the storylines.
Yeah.
We don't see them for a minute. Look at Lacey Evans. She's a great wrestler. She's a great performer. And what do we see her doing? Karaoke.
Yeah.
Well, again, we'll get into SmackDown.
We'll get into SmackDown. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we have
to keep this a positive episode.
When we did this the other night, Malik brought something up that I was going to bring up, and I'm happy he was. To me, the quiet, unspoken match of the 2 nights of the Great American Bash was Only Lorcan and Timothy Thatcher. And they had an old school, really mat wrestling kind of match, and they stole the show to me. Like, they were as good as could be.
It's always going to be guys like that who are going to steal the show. It's mid-carding. You know what I mean? We've seen guys like that all the time who can put on great, entertaining matches for the wrestling fan. That was a wrestling fan match. You know what I mean? That wasn't your normal, everyday TV watcher. Only a person who really has been watching wrestling a long time is going to appreciate the old school techniques that are being used. You know what I mean? And stuff in the match and what you're watching, because it brings that nostalgia out.
Oh, something I want to ask the question, since you made mention of mid-card. I'm going to ask each of you this question. Hopefully both of you guys can give me an answer on this. If you were to put somebody in the position to challenge for the North American Championship, give me 3 names that you would put out there to go against Keith Lee.
Finn Balor.
North American Championship?
Finn Balor. Easy.
One.
He's a big enough name that he could take the title off of him, and it wouldn't make Keith Lee look bad.
You have 2 more besides that one?
Oh, no, I'm just going to choose one. You guys go ahead and pick yours.
Echo?
I'm going to go Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest, and you could probably go with Thatcher at this point as the guy that they could build up to that. So that's my three.
PG.
I wouldn't mind Damian Priest. Damian Priest is a good choice. God, you know what? And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I really don't care. I wouldn't mind seeing Kylie O'Reilly against Keith Lee.
That was one of mine. I was going to say Strong or O'Reilly. But.
And yeah, man, Finn's already been taken. Let's just go with that too right now.
That's fine. Brandon,
I'll come back.
I was going to say either Strong or O'Reilly, but I'll go Roddy just because man needs a rub.
What's yours, Malik?
Mine would be Thatcher. Randomly, I picked Dexter Lumis, and last but not least, I'd have to agree Finn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those my 3.
Okay.
Finn would be a great story.
Yeah, it would be the right person in there.
Overall, I think the Great American Bash came off as as good as probably they wanted it to. No major hiccups.
The ratings.
Good American Bash. It's not great.
Yeah. I mean, listen. At the end of the
The
day,
acceptable American Bash.
it's interesting how you look at the ratings, because technically, Great American Bash has won the ratings both weeks.
However, AEW holds the stronger demographic number.
This is where we get into the technical term, in the demo.
Yeah, which, I mean, look, I hate judging wrestling by the ratings, because we know wrestling. We've been watching it since we were kids. You could show me a fucking 5.0 fucking show, and I could tell you it could be the worst show ever. It's just how many people were bored that night and flipped to the channel. What else was on TV? What else was it a holiday? I mean, there's so many fucking things to go involved. I don't go with ratings, you know what I mean? Because it's just.
And it's funny you use the word flipping, because since we're done with Great American Bash,
real quick, how many of us have multiple TVs? How many of us?
TVs,
yeah, okay.
You just call me out.
How many of us can watch Raw and AEW? I mean, what do we call it? NXT and AEW at the same fucking time. Ratings don't count to me, man, because you can have the same fucking viewers watching both things.
I agree.
It's not a battle anymore. I mean, let's just be happy we have a whole bunch of options to watch.
You could be watching one thing on your TV and one thing on your iPad, and it's not counting one of the ratings on the other. But like I was saying about flipping, I sat here and got so much shit a couple of weeks ago from Malik, because I said my favorite match so far this year is Kenny Omega and Adam Page against the Young Bucks.
Here we go.
Okay. However,
I'm gonna mute myself.
I watched one of the worst tag matches I could ever imagine last week, and it had nothing to do with ability. It had nothing to do with the wrestlers in the ring. It had to do with this thing we call psychology and the layout of a tag match. Okay, a tag match normally works. Two guys start off. The heel team gets the advantage at some point. You do the false hope. You do the hot tag. And then you got mayhem at the end of the match. No problem. Okay with that. Private Party and Page and Omega literally had a tornado match for the tag titles without it being a tornado match. They just did moves. It was move after move after move. There was not anything of psychology in any of it.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yes.
I feel
Professor
like,
Greco.
how do you say, we've had this conversation once before. I'm not 100% sure we were heard that time, but watching AEW since it started, you know that their tag matches just seem to go that way all the time.
I'm sorry.
Suddenly got really cloudy in here.
I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt.
Really cloudy.
I don't want to interrupt.
Producer, the voice from the clouds.
Tony is so proud of me right now.
The voice from the clouds.
And
Where the fuck did that come from, Greco? Holy shit! Very, very good.
He went Professor Greco on.
Jesus Christ, I'm proud of you. Very good. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
you were
And Bobby Lashley sucks.
you were hot about something that happens week in and week out on AEW. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry, there are 2 tag matches that we saw that actually had tags and being in and out of the ring by a 5 count, not a 10 count, the way they have their rules. FTR up taking on the Butcher and the Blade and SCU.
Oh, Butcher and Blade, yeah.
Those to me have been the best tag team matches. Over the tag team match that you love so much that had a lot of the crap that you don't like.
You know, maybe you're right. Maybe I've been woke to all of this, all right? Maybe what Tony's been preaching to me for the last couple of years is finally...
Fucking Greco said woke.
All the years of wrestling. The shit you barely remember is all the people who went into a ring and all they did was flip and you know what I mean, not put a story to their those are the things you don't remember. That's it. I'm huge fan of a story in a match. You know what I mean? A match has it doesn't always have to be good guy versus bad guy, but it just has to have a story involved in some. It could be the tiniest story, but if you go into the ring, I think the only time a match of flipping and things like the only time that can be excusable is if, let's say, 2 faces decide to say, let's go, it's a competitive kind of thing, a move for move type of thing. You know what I mean? Right. But even then, that's still a story to the match.
I hope I hope everybody's listening. Are people listening?
People are listening.
Hello? Have I died? I can't tell. Finally, you fuckers have seen it. Jesus Christ.
But, like, I watched the 8-man tag match, and actually,
you can't not
people
interject
messaged me.
in the show.
He messaged me during the 8-man tag and said, wow, this is pretty good. Because I agree, in an 8-man tag match, I expect anarchy and chaos. 6-man tag, anarchy, chaos. And for your tag title with no stipulation in the match, it should just be a simple match. Those are the best ones. Look at all the FTR matches in NXT. They all went the same exact way, and they made guys. It shows how good they are because they fought American Alpha, Enzo and Cass, Gargano and Ciampa, the fucking big guys that we don't see on TV no more.
AOP.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, like it's simple.
Yeah, pretty much.
Simple tag team wrestling. AOP. There we go. But it's just simple tag team wrestling that we don't see anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I do. I appreciate that.
You done, Professor Greco?
I'm done.
I guess
he feels better now.
Greco clearly trying to book his own segment with the Greco rant.
I mean, I do on Word of Tag Teams. I mean, like Viking Raiders. Although I don't exactly like how they've been written lately, anytime I watch them in the match, amazing talent from those 2 guys. Like some of the moves they come up with, they don't feel like staged. They feel natural tag team moves. You know, I'd love to see more of that. It sucks that we don't. It sucks that we get too many of these last-minute pair-ups of tag teams.
Yeah.
That's what we get a lot of.
Yeah. But as far as the rest of Fyter Fest nights 1 and 2, I thought Jericho and Orange was as good as could be.
I mean, I think he made Orange Cassidy a star. I think Jericho did.
Which is what Jericho's there for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
like, if you don't realize that this guy has talent and this guy could be like a potential, I wouldn't say world champion, but like, you know, a guy who could be a upper to like main event type talent.
Jericho looks like shit, by the way. Like he's aging terribly. Like,
oh man, I'm about to be that minority. Okay, I am.
Jericho looks bad, like very bad. I don't interject, but he did not look good. Like he looks old. His
yeah.
He looks like gassed.
He definitely looks like he's losing his shape for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, guy.
Yeah.
He lost touch with his DDP yoga.
Something. He needs to do something, but yeah, I definitely agree 100%. He definitely does not. Since when AEW started to now, you know what I mean? You can definitely see there's a change happening with him.
Drinking too much of that bubbly.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's just not hitting the gym as much as he used to, obviously. You know, so...
I kind of got a question for you all.
Yes.
Do you guys all agree that Jericho helped make Orange Cassidy a star?
I wouldn't say made him a star. I would say made him look better.
Help. I would say help. It wouldn't make him a star.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he made him a star because he has his own character, and as cheesy as the character is with his hands in his pocket and the bullshit ass little semi kicks that he gets, you know, is entertaining to watch. I wouldn't say he made him a star. He helped him still achieve to that level, but he didn't make him a star.
Elevated.
He was already a star prior.
Yeah, elevated is the good word.
Elevated is the perfect word.
Elevated is a good word for sure.
Okay, so my next thing is I'm going to say this, and you're definitely all down to agree or disagree. The top two guys in AEW where we think are supposed to help create or build stars are Jericho and Cody. Sorry, it's not Moxley. It's not on the list.
I never thought Moxley would be. If anybody, I would say Omega. I would say as into helping as well with the talent. Cody as well, but you know, like just to have this, just that little insight to help out as well with Jericho and Cody. But yes, I do agree with you. It is Jericho and Cody, the top two main people.
Omega has been a backseat driver since December, so I for me, I just can't see him as that particular guy helping to create stars.
When did he lose?
I feel like it's more so.
When did he lose to Pac?
I want to say
before that. I think that was when you saw that Kenny Omega was not going to be the guy to lead AEW going forward. That's when he started taking the backseat. I don't know if it's just because he needs to like take his foot off the gas because he's been going at such a pace for a long time. He's not trying to burn.
I mean, it kind of that sucks at the same time too because. You know, at the point of him coming into AEW, there was the whole argument of was he going to go to AEW or was he going to go to WWE? And that's what picked up a lot of steam for him. And then all of a sudden he jumps into AEW and the steam lasted very little and then it just kind of plateaued from there.
My whole point behind it is Jericho has worked with the likes of Darby Allin, has worked with Orange Cassidy more recently, and Scorpio Sky. Three guys that are all talented, right? Raise them up, so to speak. What are they really doing now besides Orange Cassidy?
Nothing.
Same thing can be said with anybody. I feel like the only person who's actually benefit off of working with Cody has been MJF.
True.
And what's really he doing?
So I'm just wondering.
I mean, it's
these
still
are the right
very
stories
early.
to go along.
It's still very early in the company,
gonna...
and at the same time, on top of it being very early in the company, you now walked into a situation where you can't have fans in the audience, which gauges a lot of the decisions that a company makes when it comes to wrestlers and such. So now that just made it even way harder on this company that's trying to start out. And they're still doing well during it. I'm not going to take anything away from them. I'm not going to judge them so harshly on that yet. I do agree with you, 100%. 100%. But I don't think I'm going to judge them so harshly yet.
Here's my big issue with it. I know I was in the minority when it happened, and I got a lot of flack for it. You know, when Jericho beat Paige initially for the title, when they first started the AEW title, I was one of the only people that thought Paige should have won in our circle, because I felt that, yes, Jericho was an established star, but at the same time, you're going right into just giving the belt to someone that everybody knows.
You gave it to a WWE guy. Honestly, exactly. I agree with you. It should have gone to Kenny Omega, just for the fact that, not because of talent.
Adam Page.
I mean, excuse me, Page. Not because of talent. You know what I mean? Because, yes, he's talented, but at the same time, just to not put it on a WWE guy, because you have so many WWE guys at the top of that place right now.
Exactly. And, yes, I know you can make a guy without him winning, but once in a while, one of these guys should have beaten Jericho. One of these guys should beat Cody. Like, you have to start building up people, or you're going to become WCW.
Yeah.
And so far, there have only been 3 guys to actually pin Jericho. 2 of those guys are tag team wrestlers. And what do they really do these days? Nothing. Sorry, I'm so harsh, Manny. I'm sorry. I'm just saying what I feel, man.
You're correct, though.
I mean, other than that, I mean,
you have hate in your heart.
As far as Fyter Fest goes, Lucha, what is it, Jurassic Express, and taking on MJF and Wardlow. That was a really good match.
Really good match. Yeah.
Women's title match was decent. The title match, I'll be honest, I didn't really care for much, but I felt it was better than the TNT title. I'm no longer a fan of Hager. I'm done with him. I can't.
I jumped off the I mean, look, I was never on the Hager bandwagon, but that first night where he fought, and then all of a sudden they put the same type of promo on like 6 times in one night and stuff. It was just so driven into. I was just like, this is horrible. This is just so bad.
It was redundant. It was redundant, and
it made me turn off to him very quickly. And on top of the fact, come on, since he's showing up, you can't put any money into some fucking wrestling gear, bro. You got to come out in fucking jeans and a fucking polo shirt all the fucking time and shit. Like, come on, man.
Wow.
They can be jeggings, okay? It's comfortable.
He wrestles in his drawers.
Yo, cause the gear that he does have doesn't even look like it fits him. You're talking about Swagger, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Swagger might be the worst wrestler, like in terms of personality, on the planet. Like he can't even look like a badass, right? Like that's how bad it is.
Can I ask you a quick question?
What?
Jack Swagger or Bobby Lashley?
I take Bobby Lashley. I would take Bobby Lashley. Yeah,
I'll take Bobby Lashley.
I would take Bobby Lashley. You know why?
He was nice to me on the show.
You know why? Listen. You know why? Because I watched Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, and I was impressed.
Yes.
Like thoroughly.
Yes.
Thoroughly.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Lashley's not a bad wrestler.
And Drew McIntyre is a fucking freak of nature. That guy is an animal. He's like strong as shit. I didn't think he was that strong. I was shocked. But sorry, don't need to cut it.
Overall, I think Fyter Fest. To me, Fyter Fest had the better matches overall, but in ratings, they either way you look at it, they lost. You know, it's like watching a championship fight.
Depends on your definition.
You can win the first
in the demo.
Yeah, but it's.
Forget the demo. Forget the demo. Forget the ratings and stuff. I mean, it depends on your definition of an actual loss. Look, the show was the show bad. Was the show bad? No. Were the matches bad? You know what I mean? Yeah, every show has good and bad matches and stuff, but I guess, the whole comparison, if we're comparing it just to NXT, if it's just the comparison, you know what I mean, then yeah, fine, they lost, Either way, the two organizations put on 2 good shows, and it lasts,
Totally agree with you. Some people like the cucumber's better pickled, so absolutely correct on that, sir.
Now, this week is really interesting because this week AEW is stacking up their card. Due to Moxley being around someone that they're not allowed to mention having coronavirus, the title match got pushed back to tomorrow night, so it'll be him and Brian Cage tomorrow.
The FTW champion Brian Cage, by the way.
FTW champion Brian. Malik, how do you feel about that?
Man.
You seem so excited. Oh my god. You excited? I'm excited.
Can I really like this 90s prop being brought back?
That's the greatest belt in the world.
Is Ric Flair being with Randy Orton just kind of WWE's answer to like Taz being with this guy and Jake the Snake being with this other guy?
I didn't think about that, but
like
that would make sense.
So it's Flair gonna? I mean, let's just have Flair make his own title and give it to Randy Orton.
I mean, Space Mountain title.
$1 million band. Let's bring back the $1 million belt, and let's give that to somebody.
Bring DiBiase out. Let's go. Legends contract. Where are they?
I don't know. I just felt like that. Well, he's been stealing enough. I just felt like they just brought that particular. I just feel like they brought that particular situation out of the sky. It's like, okay, brother, he's got the belt now, and I'm just like. I still don't care for Brian Cage. It's more so what it is. I don't mind Taz.
Is it an official AEW belt now?
Oh,
that belt is about as stupid as the BMF belt in UFC. Anything. It makes no sense. It's dumb. Gotcha. But it's just like to you know what it is? Is Brian Cage is an intimidating man, but when he opens his mouth, you're like, oh, this guy's a moron. So he can't cut a promo, so you put him with Taz. And so what does Taz do? Taz can't curse. So what is he going to do? He's going to bring back stupid things like the FTW title and put it on Brian Cage.
Taz was never trying to promos.
No, yeah, because Taz just cursed. That's why everybody liked Taz, because he would use the F word a lot. Like he would pipe bomb his fucking promos with the F word.
That's how you get the ECW crowd riled up.
Yeah, but now you put him with Brian Cage because you're trying to make Brian Cage this scary guy. He's going to rip people's heads off or whatever. But isn't Brian Cage short? I think it's
like 5'8".
Yeah, so it's kind of tough it's a tough sell.
He's that Chris Benoit height.
Yeah, so it's a tough sell. And you put him with Taz, like Taz, do some promos for him, and Taz just
man,
defaults what he knows, which is this shit.
I feel like they tried to stack the card for tomorrow, so they have of course the world title, then they have the TV title, the AEW TNT Championship, which is Cody with Arn Anderson taking on Sonny Kiss. They added FTR taking on the Lucha Brothers. The Elite of Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, actual Elite taking on Jurassic Express. And the Nightmare Sisters taking on a team we don't know of yet. They haven't announced who they're going to be wrestling yet.
It's going to be Sonny. Fresh out of prison.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
A jailbreak match.
We've gone off the rails for sure now.
We were never on the rails.
Oh, man. Anybody got that get out of jail free card? Anybody got that one on hand before?
I really have no guess for who the special two would be even.
I'm really looking forward to FTR taking on the Lucha Brothers because that's two totally different styles.
Yes. Ooh.
And that's one of those matches we've all been waiting for. When FTR left WWE, that was one of the top teams you wanted them to see.
Well, speaking of FTR, did you hear about that interview that happened this week with Vince McMahon? With FTR about Vince McMahon, in which they said
supposedly he. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he pretty much said he apologized to them in their last meeting, and told them that apparently the writers never told him all the ideas that they were giving them for their team and stuff like that because the writers are afraid to talk to Vince. Excuse or legit? I mean,
all right, Manny, you're a football guy, right?
Am I? Yeah, sure.
All right. So 10 years ago, the New York Giants traded away Eli Manning, and nobody told the owner about it. Does that make any sense? No.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
It's like, what happened?
That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense. There's no way Vince McMahon didn't know about it.
I agree. No, I definitely agree.
I can almost guarantee you Vince McMahon didn't care about it.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Like, oh, these little guys? What is this bald guy's problem? I don't care. Get this crap out of here.
What is this? The Brain Busters?
Exactly. And who is that? He looks like Arn Anderson's kid. Can we call him Arn? Can we call him Tom Anderson? No? Get him out of here, then. Out of
Tom
fucking
Anderson sounds like a window salesman.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying. They're great wrestlers, but they do look like,
No, they do look like they're straight out of 70s, 80s wrestling.
Exactly. It looks like you would see them at, like, your son's softball game, like the drunk dad in the crowd going, come on! That's what they look like.
What was the name of the one character from Super Troopers? The guy with the mustache?
Barbara?
No, the other guy from the town, the other police, the other cops, the bad guy cops.
Oh, Jesus Christ, guy, you're going deep into that movie, bro.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. You're pulling us deeper away from wrestling now.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Let's go look it up.
We've ended on all the good wrestling. Now let's talk about the bad wrestling.
What, Nia Jackson's back
Sunday,
on?
Wow.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
She may as well be.
No, it's okay. I was going to bring up Edge, but I figured you beat me to the punch.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
I love you, Lily.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, Malik, do that pose for me. I'm telling you, you look like that guy.
Amen, Greco. Amen.
So, this Sunday, we have Extreme Rules, the horror show. And we learned last night that Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, we still don't know what the match is. Apparently it's been leaked, and Manny, what is the leak saying?
Fuck Dolph Ziggler in every way possible, first off. And then second off, you don't spend 2 to 3 weeks teasing a surprise stipulation and then fucking hand me TLC. Okay? That is a heaping load of garbage.
You don't have
give me a career match so we don't have to see.
Wait a minute. What kind of stipulation did you want? I rip both your eyes out match?
I don't disagree. The eye match,
or maybe I rip your testicles through your asshole match.
I would pay
to see that. I would
I'm sure
pay to see that.
It's a weird flex.
I just don't feel like when it comes to. I mean, first off, I hate the whole fact that Ziggler's even involved with Drew right now. I'd honestly, I loved Heath coming back. I'd rather be seeing Heath versus Drew right now.
Oh my God, that would be such a great storyline. They have so much history.
Even just that one promo. You know what I mean?
He didn't even want to show up on Raw.
I get it.
No.
I respect it too. You know what I mean? But I'm saying I would much rather see Heath versus Drew right now. You know what I mean?
That's a story, absolutely.
You're gonna sit there and tell me that there's a history between Dolph and Drew. No, there isn't. There's
more of a history between Heath and Drew.
Drew was a hired gun because WWE didn't have any other fucking thing to do with him, and the writers couldn't figure it out yet. That's all the fuck it was. Okay? They weren't best friends. They weren't traveling on the road and going to each other's kids' fucking parties and shit like that. It wasn't happening. Okay?
You're saying a lot of things with your chest right now, Manny.
Oh, man.
Little Brody over there? They weren't friends. They didn't go to cookouts together. What's going in over there, bro?
I guess I'm just tired of Dolph already. That's just me.
Yeah, he's done.
We also thought that we would be getting Randy Orton versus Big Show, and it turns out that's going to be next Monday. Not the pay-per-view, next Monday, that match, which makes absolutely no sense in the world.
That's classic Vince McMahon tactics.
We have
and
the horror
Bruce
show
Pritchard is
match.
yesing the fuck out of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have Sasha and Asuka for the Raw Women's title.
I mean, I want Asuka to win 100%. But come on, if they had all the belts, that would be pretty cool.
Did you guys know? I don't expect anybody here to watch Raw Talk, and I know damn sure I didn't. But Kairi Sane pretty much threw down a challenge, stating that if she gets past Sasha Banks, she is indeed ready for Asuka. It seems like that could be a match leading towards SummerSlam, or if they decide to do Evolution 2, who knows?
I want to see that.
We also had the.
I'm going to say, Kairi Sane was freaking amazing this past month. Last night.
Oh my God, she was so good. I was able to catch the last 30 minutes of it.
Good. And she just went off on it. I'm sad to see her go. I always hate when they're about to head out the door. That's when they're fucking doing great, man. You know what I mean?
Or did they give them a great push? They give them a great final push. Yeah. Why couldn't you give this push while they were mainly active in the roster? No, you wait until the 2 weeks, or even after when they're fired.
Yep. But I will say, in argument to that, it did feel at certain points that Sasha and Bayley couldn't keep up with her. You know what I mean?
I agree.
They're not that good.
Yeah, no, they're not the greatest wrestlers. I get it. I definitely don't disagree with you there.
But they have two.
They're no flares.
All right, Malik.
They're no flares.
Giving me the stink look. I'm gonna. No, but it has nothing to do with even Charlotte. We were talking about before about why the women's roster is so bad. The women's roster is so bad because we're seeing too much of it. We're seeing too much of it on Monday. We're seeing too much of it on Friday, and it's getting exposed.
No,
no, it's not that.
You just said that that was a great tag match last night. It wasn't that it was a great tag match. It was a good tag match, but because we've seen so many bad ones, I feel like everything is getting watered down and saturated down because we're seeing too much of the same thing.
Okay, I have to agree with you because I did not care to watch SmackDown, and we're going to get to that later, because they were doing Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross up against the Golden Role Models. I'm just like, I just saw this already. Why do I need to continue to see it over and over and over again?
Yeah, they have a lot. They have more women that they could do stuff with, and they kind of keep going to the same thing. I definitely agree there.
Yeah.
We finally got.
I love Shayna coming out last night.
Yeah, when she beat up the Foot Clan, that was great. I was entertained by that. Okay, when Bianca Belair's music hit, I was happy that it was somebody different on TV, and we finally got to see what's her name?
Shayna Baszler?
Right, get a win. So
Oh yeah, that one too.
I was.
It would have been cool if Shayna just beat up R-Truth for the 24/7 title.
So that's where they were going.
I felt like that's what they. I thought that.
I feel like that's where they're going.
I would have been awesome.
I feel like that's where they're going. And then have Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax, and then Shayna Baszler's out, and then Vince McMahon gets his wish.
Oh, Jesus. But yes, we saw the returning Shayna Baszler. We saw, well, I wouldn't say debut, but we saw Bianca Belair for the first time in months. And that was pretty much great. Oh, but you know what we didn't see much of? And we said about them having a title match. We barely saw our WWE champion. We saw Drew McIntyre.
The Street Profits?
Well, the Street Profits,
I believe
Dawkins had a baby.
That's true. I forgot about that.
So I'm all for guys taking off time and stuff like that. That your family.
Absolutely.
Ask a question.
Only seeing, sure.
I looked through my notes and I realized I only watched matches of Raw from last week because I fell asleep and never cared to pick it back up to watch. They give this guy the new U.S. title, or is he still carrying around the one from before? I'm confused. What the hell's going on?
MVP came out, and he unveiled it with him and Lashley in the ring, and said, well, since I already beat Cruz, I'm pretty much the U.S. champion, so I'm just going to keep this belt. And now they're going to fight, and then pretty much that's probably how Apollo Crews will get the belt back. Like the original, the new belt instead of the old one.
New belt. The new on Viv.
Either
belt.
that or Cedric.
The new on Viv.
Either that or Cedric Alexander's
right?
gonna
It's the new
turn.
on Viv.
Yeah, maybe somebody turns and joins.
Yeah,
MVP.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cedric Alexander were to turn and help MVP win, because MVP's starting this like faction where he's like their agent or their spokesperson.
True. Which I like.
MVP is very good on the mic. In the ring, he's dog shit, but he's good.
Yeah.
He's good on the mic, and he's a perfect.
And he doesn't care about losing.
Perfect mouthpiece for Bobby Lashley. The perfect mouthpiece.
He's all about building the guys up. He's all about building the young talent up. You know.
He's the same hype man that Lio Rush was, but more believable. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what Lashley needs. He needs a believable hype man.
Well, because MVP has credibility at least.
Yes, exactly.
You know, he's a guy, not to be funny at the same time. Like, he could talk tough and you believe it, but like if somebody big gets in his face, that's why Bobby Lashley's there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's working. They're working for sure. They're clicking. 100%.
What I would have personally did, especially if you were going to hold Apollo off TV the last couple of weeks, I don't know if he's injured or what's going on with him, but what I would have personally did was had MVP steal the title, and after Apollo beats him at Extreme Rules, just come out the next night with the new title.
I don't think MVP is keen on having his character steal anything, but with his history being a felon and all.
Wow. I mean, you know the reason why we know the real reason why they sported off that new title without giving it to Apollo. They sell it online, baby. It's the real reason why.
Yeah.
True. It's true.
It's
not a horrible looking title, too.
Take that over the new Intercontinental title.
Yeah, I'm not against it in any way. You know, it's definitely it's a good looking. I like the eagle wings on it and such, and you know, it's good. I hear there's one other title still being redesigned.
I take it over the Intercontinental title. I take it over the AEW TNT title. So.
Oh my God, that TNT title is so fucking ugly.
Oh, you don't like TNT?
I don't understand why we need to have the whole company TNT on it. No, we don't need that. I get it. I get the reasoning why, because you need to know what type of title it is.
Right, I'm sending you yours in the mail today, GG.
Anyway.
Did we go through the entire the entire Extreme Rules show?
Manny, don't worry. Iconic shirts already in your inbox.
We have one more. We have another match. We have another match to talk about from the Raw side, and that'll be the Eye for an Eye match.
Oh God! All right. So Dominic still looks very awkward to me. I'm sorry, you can't take it away. I can't not see it. He walks into the ring. I mean, he walks towards the ring, and his arms don't. You know, when someone walks, their fucking arms move side to side. The reason a person's arms don't move from side to side when they're doing certain acting things is because they don't know what to do with themselves. They're nervous. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he's freezing up. He's locking in certain ways, and it's showing. You know what I mean? When I see him walk down the ramp with his dad and stuff, he looks like the kid. He just looks like a scared kid behind his dad. He doesn't seem like somebody who could defend themselves yet. Now maybe he's playing that. Look, for all we know, all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Big Cholo could come out, and all of a sudden he's like the biggest badass you ever seen in your life. You know what I mean? I'm not
Cholo for life.
This is a real question, and this might be a personal one. I gotta ask. I gotta know.
No, please.
Are you holding his ability against him because of the way he was in 2005? They put him up for custody. I just gotta know, because your beef with Dominic is ongoing. It almost feels like it runs a good 15
No.
I mean, for all we know, it can still be Eddie's son. That's all.
It is Eddie's son.
I definitely want Dom. I'm a pro Dominic person. I'm not against it. What I'm afraid of is that. Look. Obviously, there's a reason.
All this hype for nothing.
Yeah, there's a reason Rey Mysterio is working without a contract right now. Okay, and it's because he knows that they're working with his son, and if he does anything, it could sacrifice that. That's the obvious thing there. You know what I mean?
He's like
I'm for Dominic. I'm for, if he has the skills. Why not? Why wouldn't I want another great wrestler? You know what I mean? In the Mysterio dynasty to start, making his name. Fine. I'm just saying, from what I'm seeing off the bat, from what I'm seeing initially from his movements, his mannerisms, and what I've seen from him on TV so far, it isn't believable yet. That's all. He hasn't shown it to me yet. I don't matter. I'm not his freaking boss, and I don't pay him. I'm just saying I haven't seen it yet. So if somebody has seen anything, it's because they're seeing it backstage, and you haven't seen it on camera yet. Because there's not one situation you could point out to me with him so far in which it shows that a positive thing for his future. You know what I mean?
Well, with the exception of taking an ass kicking.
How many people have taken
ass? You haven't seen him do. Well, no, but I'm saying other than that, you haven't seen him do anything in the ring. Like you could have had him hit set with a Hurricane Rana that set up the 619 for his father or something. Like you could have did something in all this. So now, do we think that he just turns on his father on Sunday, and that's Ray going off into the wind?
Greco, before we go forward with that, I kind of need to know what are the stipulations to this match. I keep hearing it's an eye for an eye, and usually when you think about that, you're just thinking, like figuratively, you're going to get your revenge at some point.
No. They said you have to rip the opponent's eyeball out of his head.
Yeah, there's going to be CGI in this event, in this match, apparently. That's what the news has said. No, I'm serious. That's not actual. I know I joke about CGI a lot, but that's an actual true thing that has been out there. Yeah, they have said that they're going to be using CGI for this match. And even when it comes to Dominic himself with Rey Mysterio, if he turns on Rey Mysterio, whoever's writing for this storyline hasn't created a reason enough for Dominic to leave Rey Mysterio's side. I would have liked to have seen more of. Yes, they have. Wait. I would have liked to have seen more of Rey Mysterio telling Dominic, "No, go back there. Go back. You're not fighting." Telling him he can't be a wrestler. Telling him, "No, this is too dangerous for you." If you put stuff like that, and then all of a sudden Dominic just bursted out and said, "I'm tired of being told that I'm not a man. I can't do what I can't make the choice to be in the ring like that." That would make more sense of him turning on his father. But you haven't created a reason.
Also the fact that it's not his real dad.
Oh, here we go.
Bring that back.
No, imagine he was like, Eddie was right. He saw the potential in me. You never saw nothing. I was just a kid to you. Eddie saw me as a man. Soy un hombre.
If he came out and said some shit, come on, man. I just feel like
look at Malik over here, pobrecito. It's okay, papi.
Have Dominic be like, but have Ray say to Dominic, but I love you. You told me you love me, that I was your father and you would do anything for me. And you have Dominic be like, I lie, I said. And have him start doing some shakes and stuff.
That's what I'm saying, but I can't picture his character. You know what I mean? Him having the what's the word? The personality to do those type of things yet. That's
I just hear Dominic saying, "Roll the footage," and it's Eddie waiting the time.
I would love that.
I'm your papi.
That's great. Why not? Because if Eddie was alive, he would be the first one to jump on that storyline.
Oh hell yeah! Absolutely. Oh, you kidding me?
Anyway, back to the horror show. Also, we on the SmackDown side. The only two matches I can think of is Bayley and Nikki Cross, which I don't know
Bayley's
why, but that's what they're going with. Yeah,
Bayley's gonna win.
Braun and Bray Wyatt in a swap match.
Okay, in part two of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt.
The other two matches. This is where I come in. So, one of them so happens to be, because for some bizarre reason, instead of having AJ Styles and Riddle
on a
pay-per-view, let's just do it on SmackDown. Because, we'll just
same way Randy and
it's better.
Yeah, right? The same.
It's one of those situations where they need a big match on SmackDown going before the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Eventually, Corbin and Riddle will probably be on SummerSlam, is the way I'm seeing it in my head. It just so happens that Sheamus has challenged Jeff Hardy to a bar fight.
Oh, bar fight, yes.
And for me, from what I've been seeing on the internet, is that everybody is just fed up with the whole thing, with the way they're treating Jeff Hardy and going so deep into his personal life. And I'm like, this is not the first time. This could be the last. Who knows? And the other match that I want to predict could be on the pay-per-view on the card could be the New Day defending the SmackDown tag titles up against you called them 2.0?
The League.
League of Nations
2.0 and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura in a tables match, which is more than likely going to be signed.
Yes. So, I mean, as far as would this be the most matches we had on a pay-per-view since WrestleMania?
Sounds like it. Because we've had probably an average of maybe 7.
Because we had Money in the Bank and Backlash, right? And I don't think either one of them had more than 5 or 6 matches.
One of those pay-per-views was like 2 hours and a half. It was really short. One
of the more recent ones.
I think
but Money in the Bank doesn't count because of the fact that the 2 Money in the Bank matches were very long matches. So that kind of accounts for the night.
No, it was one match all tied in together.
Yeah, but it's
fighting at the same time.
Yeah, but it's still two. It was still 2 matches. It wasn't like the women were beating up the men at all times of the match and fighting for their briefcases. You know what I mean? Like at the end of it, you still saw men fighting for their briefcase and then separately women fighting for their briefcase. So you knew it was still 2 matches.
All I know is we're going to be talking about this Sunday and talking about how much of a horror show that pay-per-view probably was.
The name alone is horrific.
I look forward to the Braun match. I mean, I don't. I know the cinematic thing these days is a little bit of a huff, but at the same time, I mean, look, we're not getting much from the fucking no crowd shows they're doing. So at least the cinematic is more entertaining than some of that shit they're putting out. You know what I mean?
I need to know right now, are we done with WWE? Because I have to say something very unpopular.
Please.
Yeah, we're done. We're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
So final take.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing Impact Slammiversary.
Bye.
I kind of want to see where Gallows and Anderson end up.
I'm curious to know who's going to pull up over at Impact, and they're running shows without anybody in the audience.
You know what? I will say there has been a couple names that's been popping up for Impact. Like EC3 is definitely thinking about going back if he's not definitely teased about it.
Oh yeah, EC3 is so.
Played his theme music already.
Anyway,
yeah.
You know,
Super Eric Young.
They recently put out a news article that states that Impact Wrestling filed for paycheck, some sort of paycheck back insurance because they're not able to continue to pay their employees for much longer during the current situation.
So American tax dollars or Canadian tax dollars?
Can't really say how many people you really think are going to go there because how many people can they afford to just throw on contracts? Maybe some people will go there off contract because they just want to keep their name floating in the air, but I don't know. I don't see any big names.
It could also be by an appearance thing. You know, you could sign someone to 10, 12 dates, and the way everything's set up now, that means you could have somebody there for 6 months, possibly.
Yeah.
That's true.
This weekend, within itself, wrestling-wise, is pretty big. You got Impact on Saturday, Extreme Rules on Sunday, and then the New Japan show, Road to...
Show. It's New Japan Road. It's usually road to, there we go. It's usually road to G1, but since we don't know what's happening with G1 this year,
New Japan Road on Monday.
New Japan Road to Road.
I think the latest big news that just came out is that John Cena's contract has expired with WWE.
Yes.
He hasn't really done much of anything during this pandemic. He showed up 1 or 2 times. Obviously going into WrestleMania, and that's the last time you've seen him. Does anybody really think he's going to go anywhere else? No, absolutely not.
He's like Taker. He's loyal to Vince. You know, I don't see him if he does. Whew, that would be an amazing story. But no, you're right. Nobody can. I mean, I don't know. TNT got money.
That's a false rumor.
And also, just to let you know about
Apparently
the Road Show, the main event right now for that is Bullet Club taking on Los LIJ. Ishimori, Dick to Go, and Evil taking on Bushi, Naito, and Takahashi. And we all know the reason why Bushi's in that match and not Sonata is because somebody's going to take a pin, and it's going to be Bushi. But I look forward to that, watching that Monday morning.
I will not have this Bushi hate on the podcast anymore, sir. He's a perfectly fine talent.
It's never going to end for me. I'm letting you know right now.
It's never going to end, bro. That one.
I like Bushi. I like Ibushi. Anybody with a name Bushi.
You're a Bushi guy.
The big Bushi guy. Huge Bushi guy. Also,
Le Bouche.
Also, some T's and P's out to the former Rusev. Tested positive for COVID-19. I announced it on his Twitch stream the other day. So we wish the big man well. I know.
Well, I mean, her parents, Lana's parents.
Lana's parents have definitely had some.
Also.
Yeah, her mother's home now, which is good, because I know that she was serious at one point. So
shit is getting real, people. Wear a goddamn mask out in public. Do what you gotta do.
Please do.
Can't make me wear no mask.
And don't take it down when you start talking, please. We can still fucking hear you, okay?
This is America.
So wait a second. So when you wear a mask like this, you're telling me it's not effective?
Oh my god.
I'm not supposed to wear it like this?
Greco, I swear to you, I will pull your mask and sled that shit like snap back in your fucking face.
Can I wear it like a tampon?
Oh my god. Sure, if you want to look like a pussy.
Give me some options, you know?
Also to put a serious thing on this.
Who wants to be an option of being a pad? I'm sorry.
Wow.
We had some disturbing things earlier about Will Ospreay that he contemplated
I'm not gonna make jokes.
Committed suicide.
No. He contemplated suicide, and he talked about it. He opened up about it. It's a very hard thing for people to talk about. And if anyone out there, you got problems, you got issues, there's hotlines. Talk to a friend, call someone, whatever you got to do. But I'm happy. I'm not the biggest.
Running along the bottom of the screen right now.
Yeah, the suicide prevention.
But I'm not the biggest Will Ospreay fan. But for him to come out with something like that, it's feeling it's sending love, and hopefully,
We don't need another wrestler that decides to off themselves. Yeah, we don't need another wrestler to basically off themselves because of depression and Twitter hate or just
we got enough negative shit in 2020.
I'm done with this year.
Sign us off, sir.
So, all right. So we have to give the content update for the weekend. We're gonna be, I think, together in some form. Some collection of us will be in the same place at the same time. So we're gonna do this in person, I think. Yeah.
Possibly.
Companion podcasts, maybe. So
that's the possibility.
Some companion podcasts, a bunch of other shit. Stay tuned. Watch this space. I think it's been a successful producer tone. What do you say? Waiting for him to unmute his microphone. Unless he's not fired anymore. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Great job, guys.
Successful. Yeah! Successful. No major problems.
God has spoken.
So for everybody here, I was going to do it. I was going to do it.
I never get to sign us out.
Why don't you let the actual host of the show sign you out? Malik, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jamal Jackson.
Manny,
I'm sorry.
Manny, Gigi, Tony over there in the production, Brandon, for myself. I feel like I left somebody out. I'm sorry.
No, they left. They left.
Hey, Greco.
They left already.
My bad. Even though. Sorry,